Black smoke hangs in the air. A burning Humvee, the victim of a roadside bomb. We kneel beside Gonzalez. Behind the only intact wall had been a mud brick house. The squad pulls security in a perimeter in the date trees. The medic tends to Gonzalez. Given the severity of the wounds, there isn't much to be done except to make him comfortable. Gonzalez wants to confess his sins. He barely speaks above a whisper. The act of perfect contrition. You can do that, Marco. Gonzalez nods. He understands. I help him pull out his crucifix. I don't remember the words. Oh my God, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee. He haltingly repeats after me. We carefully make our way through the prayer. The unmistakable sound inbound UH-60 Blackhawk. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Amen, we both say. Gonzalez crosses himself, tears in his eyes as he looks up at the sky. He has kept them open throughout the prayer. Staff Sergeant Tierson runs out into the open pops. Purple smoke marks the landing zone. Makes his way back to us. Looking down at his 20-year-old soldier, Tierson kneels and says, Marco, if you die before you get back to your 2 little girls, I'm going to come through the pearly gates and kick your ass myself. Gonzalez closes his eyes, a smile flickers. St. Peter says to go fuck yourself. The Blackhawk lands. The flight medic scuttles over and confers with the platoon medic. Gonzalez tugs on my sleeve. I have to lean in very close to understand his words over the rotor wash. Worried expression, fear. He asks me his question. Before I can answer, the medics move me out of the way. They organize the carrying of the stretcher. I'm on the left front. I try to answer his question as we move him towards the helicopter. But his eyes are closed, and wherever he is, it's not here. The Blackhawk lifts off. We watch as it flies down the valley, receding in view, the thumping of its rotors echoing off the surrounding rugged snow-capped mountains. Do they need soldiers in heaven? Tepid water washes over me. Out through the screens of the shower, the tall ridge lines surround the outpost on 3 sides. The light of late afternoon filtering through the screens as kaleidoscopes of light and shadow. I think about the last time I called Mary. Was it 2 weeks ago? No, 3? Hello, Jacob. I asked how she was doing. Fine. How were the kids? Asleep. Do you know what time it is here? I did. I don't. You never do. But anyways, let me go wake them. She didn't have to do that, I said. Mary put down the phone. I could hear her yelling for Ethan to wake up. It was my 3-year-old daughter, Faith, who picked the phone back up. Daddy, 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 daddy. Do they need soldiers in heaven? I turn off the water, quickly towel dry, reach for my fresh uniform. As I dress, across the way in the rapidly fading light, I see Staff Sergeant Tierson sitting alone outside his squad's hut, smoking a cigarette. He looks so much younger out of his combat gear. They all do. He politely nods and stands as I walk up, tosses his cigarette into the metallic can at his feet. Don't stop on my account. Tierson doesn't have to be told twice. What can I do for you, sir? How are you? His expression is one I see over and over again in Afghanistan. Somber, reflective, fundamentally tired. I can't believe I told a dying kid I would kick his ass. He understood what you were trying to say. Do you think he understood? Tierson glances meaningfully and guiltily skyward. I would hope so. God, he was a good kid. Everyone loved him. I let Tierson take his leave of me. Do they need soldiers in heaven? I stare down at the condolence letter I'm still trying to write to Gonzalez's family. What I want to say just isn't coming. My wastebasket filled with crumpled up draft after draft. This is my 3rd night of trying. It's almost midnight. In a couple minutes, I will be 42 years old, 20 of them in uniform, 7 on deployments. God, I'm tired. Do they need soldiers in heaven? I don't know if they need soldiers in heaven, because I don't know if there's a heaven. Do they need soldiers in heaven? Should I have lied to him? Do they need soldiers in heaven? I walk over to my footlocker. I rummage inside it until I find a brown manila folder. I take the folder to my desk and open it carefully, spreading out the contents. For years, SFC White used to send me these long, rambling letters every couple of months. He had spent almost all of his life without anyone willing to listen to him. Had been too embarrassed to go back to that pastor who'd seen him cry. I guess all the things he really wanted to say had just accumulated under that tough exterior of his. In writing to me, he finally found an outlet that worked for him. Do they need soldiers in heaven? It was a never-ending source of amusement that I became an ordained minister hintier. So much so that he started going to UU meetings to see what the hell had gotten into me. He met Bonnie at one of those meetings. Oddly enough, the letters tapered off. Do they need soldiers in heaven? Do they need soldiers in heaven? The first letter I pull out is the one SFC White had sent me when he met Bonnie. She was an uninformed, unreformed, and unrepentant liberal hippie commie chick, his age, but otherwise, all right. Setting that letter aside, I pull out the card he sent me for my 35th birthday, just after he had been terminally diagnosed with prostate cancer. Happy birthday, dumbass. Do they need soldiers in heaven? We joked about it. The last time we sat on his porch, how many years ago? We walk up to the pearly gates side by side. We look at each other. We are the best versions of ourselves. We stand in line. The line moves steadily. When it's our turn, St. Peter gravely looks us over, flips through his book, and eternity passes. Says here. St. Peter finally says, slowly turning the page, I am to tell you to go fuck yourselves. Impassive expression. Another eternity passes. Well, shit. We start to turn away. St. Peter stops us, twinkle in his eye, points through the pearly gates. They're waiting for you. Just inside, around the corner. Just inside the pearly gates, around the corner, is a small pub. We peek through the door. Soldiers of every generation, every war, every side, standing and sitting together, bantering as only soldiers can do. We're told to come in and have a seat. What's our drink? It starts to dawn on me something isn't normal. I look around. Realization strikes. I don't hear anything. All noise has ceased. But it's not the bad kind of silence, like when you're in a crowded room and still feel alone. It's the other kind, connection, not absence, silence. The moment all too fleeting, the sounds of Bagram come rushing back. A C-17 cargo plane lands, causing the building to shake. I fold his letters back in the manila folder. The folder back into my footlocker. Should be hitting the rack. Although it's my birthday, still going to be a full-duty day. First, however, I sit back down at my desk. I know what I'm going to write Corporal Gonzalez's family.